Hello and welcome to Twist List. Today we are looking at Top 10 Badass Female Warriors. This is a list of the greatest female warriors through history. In order to be selected for this list, the woman has had to be someone who fought in battle herself, not just commanding from a distance, and she had to be real. For this reason people like Hua Mulan are not included, as there is a lot of doubt about their historical existence. At number 10 we have Judith. Judith, also known as Judith, was a non-Christian queen who ruled the Mount around 960 AD. She laid waste to Aksum, the then sacred capital of Ethiopia, image above, and its countryside. She destroyed monuments and churches and attempted to wipe out all of the members of the ruling dynasty, descendants of the Queen of Sheba. Her activities are recorded in oral tradition and in various historical records. It is believed that she killed the emperor and took over his throne, where she reigned for 40 years. Tales of her violence and history are still told by peasants in the North Ethiopian communities. It is traditionally believed that she sacked and destroyed Debre Damo, the treasury and prison for male relatives of the king of Ethiopia. The 9th spot on the list is occupied by Tru Trin. Tru Trin was a Vietnamese warrior from the 3rd century who successfully resisted the occupying forces of the Wu Kingdom during their time in Vietnam. She was born in the Tru Son district of An Hoa province, now in northern Vietnam. At the time of her birth, the area was controlled by the Eastern Wu Kingdom, one of China's 3 kingdoms. She was orphaned at a young age and was raised by her brother and his wife as a slave until the age of 20. She escaped from her brother's home and fled to the jungle, where she built up an army of at least 1,000 men and women soldiers. Tru Trin managed to liberate an area of Vietnam which she then claimed as her own. By the age of 23 she had defeated at least 30 Wu advances. It was said that she rode into battle on the back of an elephant whilst wearing golden armor and carrying 2 swords. Number 8 on our list is Boudicca. Boudicca was a queen of the people of Norfolk who led an uprising against the occupying forces of the Roman Empire. Her husband had left his kingdom jointly to his daughters and the Roman emperor when he died, but the Romans did not acknowledge the joint rule, they simply took full control. It was reported that Boudicca was flogged and her daughters raped. She was eventually chosen as the leader of her people and their neighbors to lead an assault on the Romans. Her army had great success in their battles, and in fact completely demolished the city of Camalodunum, Colchester. Tacitus said that the Britons had no desire to take prisoners, they simply slaughtered everyone in their path. Dio said that the noble Roman women were beheaded and had their breasts cut off and sewn to their mouths. Ironically, the great anti-imperialist rebel is now identified with the head of the British Empire, and her statue stands guard over the city she razed to the ground. At number 7 we have Trung Sisters. The Trung Sisters were Vietnamese military leaders who managed to repel Chinese invasions for over 3 years. They are regarded as national heroines of Vietnam. They were born during the 1,000-year Chinese occupation. After fighting off a small Chinese unit from their village, they assembled an army mostly consisting of women. Within months they had taken back many regions from the Chinese and had liberated Nam Viet. They became queens of the country and resisted all further attacks from the Chinese for 2 years. Eventually the Chinese formed a large army to crush the sisters and their army. Legend has it that the Chinese army went into battle totally naked in order to shame the women soldiers into defeat. Despite a heroic effort on the part of the sisters, the Chinese overcame their army. To protect their honor and to avoid ridicule at the hands of the Chinese, the 2 queens committed suicide by drowning themselves in the Hat River. Number 6 on the list is Artemisia I of Caria. Artemisia I of Caria became the ruler of Ionia as a client of the Persians. She is best remembered for her participation in the Battle of Salamis, image above. She alone counseled the king of Persia, Xerxes, not to meet the Greeks at sea and do battle. Nevertheless he did not heed her advice and she participated in the battle in September 480 BC as the commander of 5 ships. At one point in the battle the Greeks were close to capturing her trireme when she devised a cunning plan to escape. She had her own ship bear down on another Persian ship, causing the Greeks to think that she was fighting on their side. When she sank the ship the Greeks left her alone. Xerxes, watching from a nearby hill, also assumed that she had defeated an enemy ship and praised her for her bravery. Xerxes was so full of praise for her that he said, "My men have turned into women and my women into men." Artemisia tried to convince Xerxes to retreat to Asia Minor against the advice of his other generals. Ultimately the Persians suffered a great defeat. The fifth spot on the list is occupied by Fu Hao. Fu Hao was a consort of King Wu Ding of the Shang dynasty. She also, unusually for that time, served as a high priestess and military general. Her tomb, image above, was discovered in Yingxiu, the ruins of the Shang capital, Yin, full intact with her treasures. She is known to modern scholars mainly from inscriptions on Shang dynasty oracle bone artifacts. In the inscriptions she is shown to have led many military campaigns. The two fought against the Shang for many generations until Fu Hao finally defeated them in a single battle. Further campaigns against the neighboring Yi, Xiang, and Ba were to follow, with the latter being particularly well known as the earliest recorded large-scale ambush in Chinese history. With over 13,000 troops, she was the most powerful military leader of her time. Number 4 on the list is Ahotep I. Ahotep I was such an important figure in the early New Kingdom that she is considered to have been a pivotal figure in the founding of the 18th dynasty. She had a long and influential life and ruled as regent after the death of her father. She enabled her two sons, Kamose and Ahmose I, to unite Egypt after the Hyksos occupation. She was instrumental in driving the Hyksos invaders out of Egypt. She lived until the age of 90 and was buried beside Kamose at Thebes. Weapons and jewelry found in the tomb of Ahotep I include an axe depicting Ahmose I striking down a Hyksos soldier, and flies in honor for the queen in her role against the Hyksos. She was considered a warrior queen and was presented with the Order of Valor. She was honored with a stela, commissioned by Ahmose I in the Temple of Amun-Re that praises her military accomplishments. At the third place we have Saint Joan of Arc. Saint Joan of Arc appeared before the Crown Prince of France after receiving visions she claimed were from God telling her to fight to take France back from the English late in the 100 Years' War. The uncrowned King Charles VII sent her to the siege at Orléans. She gained great recognition after she was able to lift the siege in only 9 days. After several more swift victories, she led Charles VII to his coronation at Reims. She is the only person ever recorded to have commanded the entire army of a nation at the age of 17. Despite sustaining wounds to the neck and head, she continued to lead the country to victory repeatedly. She was tried for heresy in a false court and burnt at the stake. Her trial was declared invalid by the Pope and she was canonized as a saint many years later. At the second spot is Zenobia. Septima Zenobia governed Syria from about 250 to 275 AD. She led her armies on horseback wearing full armor and during Claudius' reign defeated the Roman legions so decisively that they retreated from much of Asia Minor. Arabia, Armenia and Persia allied themselves with her and she declared herself Queen of Egypt by right of ancestry. Claudius' successor Aurelian sent his most experienced legions to conquer Zenobia, but it took almost 4 years of battles and sieges before her capital city of Palmyra fell and Zenobia along with 9 other martial queens of allied provinces were paraded through the streets of Rome in chains. Aurelian exiled Zenobia to Tibur. Her daughters married into influential Roman families and her line continued to be important in Roman politics for almost 3 centuries. Maevia was queen of the Bedouin Saracens from 370 to 380 AD. She led her troops in defeating a Roman army, then made a favorable peace and married her daughter to the Roman commander-in-chief of the Eastern Emperor Valens. And finally, at number 1, Tamar of Georgia. Tamar, sometimes known as Tamara, was the daughter of the Georgian king Georgi III. Her father declared her co-ruler and heir apparent to prevent dispute after his death. After the death of her father, Tamar gained a reputation as an outstanding ruler and was dubbed King of Kings and Queen of Queens by her people. Her reign saw the bringing to heel of almost every neighboring Muslim state. Tamar played an active military role as the commander of her army. During her reign the kingdom reached the apex of its political, economic and cultural might. In 1201 to 1203, Georgians took and annexed the Armenian capitals of Ani and Tvin. In 1204, Tamar's army occupied the city of Kars. In 1204, Tamar helped to found the Empire of Trebizond on the southern shore of the Black Sea, whose capital is now the Turkish city of Trabzon. Queen Tamar died in 1213. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, then please hit the subscribe button.